welcome all of you to the Uganda Society House. We are happy to be with you here today. A good morning to you all. Then also, again, welcome you to our second R&D Live 2026. 2025 ended on a high, and we chose to begin 2026 even on a higher note. That is why we keep having these engagements, and we ensure that we majorly focus on very important aspects, not only for legal practice, but for the general being of our members, because you're aware we have a statutory mandate under Section 3 of the Act, which cuts across, the fields, and one of them is the branches of law in the country. So colleagues, the legal profession is intellectually demanding, and we are justification for why we have this session, and why we chose to do this, why we chose to focus on wellness for the members generally. The legal profession is intellectually demanding, but physically and mentally taxing at the same time. As lawyers, we do spend long hours sitting, drafting documents. As you can see, Mr. Manabi in here is still reading. That is a legal profession for you. Attending meetings and appearing in court. Now, this sedentary lifestyle combined with constant pressure and tight deadlines increases our risk of non-communicable diseases such as hypertension, diabetes, heart disease, anxiety and burnout. And as you heard in the CEO's remarks, there are clear examples of members who have suffered some of these challenges, collapsing in office, and others are dying slowly when you do not even know. You tend to happen that by the time you realize, by the time you notice something is wrong, probably it's too late. It has reached a level where you cannot go back. And again, like the pressures, all of you know that the legal profession is also in business, so sometimes things are not good, and we're all focusing on making money and surviving. So that really creates that pressure on you and leads to these challenges. Wellness, therefore, is not a luxury. It is essential for professional excellence. Regular physical activity improves concentration, energy, and resilience. And when you speak to sports experts, they will tell you that sport reduces stress, it strengthens the heart and muscles, improves sleep, and enhances mental clarity. These are the qualities every effective lawyer needs. You must be awake all the time. You must be healthy. It is in this spirit, therefore, that the Uganda Society, under the leadership of the Radical Yuba, is expanding structured opportunities for members to engage in sport and wellness. We are entering into a memorandum of understanding with the Lawyers League to formalize and strengthen football activities among members. Football is not just recreation. It builds teamwork, discipline, camaraderie, and healthy competition. It gives us space to connect beyond courtrooms and conference halls. We are also entering an MOU with the Hammer Pedal Center to introduce and promote pedal among members. This pedal sport is an exciting, fast-paced sport that requires movement across the court, agility, coordination, and sustained cardiovascular activity. One runs, pivots, reacts, and engages constantly. It is also excellent for the heart, and muscle tone, reflex development, and stress reduction. Importantly, it is social and accessible, making it practical, a practical option for lawyers seeking both fitness and networking in a relaxed environment. These are the aspects, so I'll get more details from the partners we have. And again, looking at seizing the opportunity. If you look at how the Uganda Society, part of our agenda when we say the Vision 2060 agenda. The country is moving, the world is moving. You'll notice that 90% of practitioners are based in Kampala. Yet if you've been following trends, the government has actually created cities. We have several cities now across the country. We believe that one of our roles is to ensure that we move across, we spread. We need to be able to have practitioners in all parts of the country to avoid the concentration in Kampala, where there's stress, the business actually reduces, and we believe sport is one way of doing this. These are the demands we shall have from the Lawyers League, to see beyond, just the small teams and small groups now, but also incorporate regions, to have these activities spread across the country, so that we have a lot of presence and exciting activities where people know we have lawyers in Arua, we have lawyers in Kitbu, because they've seen the lawyers and they've seen the lawyers that are participating. And these are some of the details we shall go into our MOU with the lawyers to ensure that we obtain the goal. We serve the purpose for which we are doing this, to get outside the normal, thinking of we are best here, we have these teams here, best in Kampala, and also to encourage other members of the bar to participate, to take interest in these activities. So it's a bigger picture than we just have on paper, and I believe this is the beginning of that journey. Beyond physical wellness, we are equally committed to supporting members during times of vulnerability. And we are therefore privileged to have board members of the Benevolent Fund with us here today to speak about the work of the fund. This is a fund that was launched in July 2024, and the Benevolent Fund was established to provide support to lawyers facing hardship, illness, or other unforeseen circumstances. It reflects our commitment to solidarity with the profession, that no colleague should face personal crisis alone. And I must commend the Benevolent Fund so far for the work well done. If you've noticed in the past few months, we've lost members. I think a few weeks ago, we had to go to our colleague, Advocate Oiki Monono, in a patch who was, who went through some challenges, and the Benevolent Fund was there with him. We've seen so many other, members, colleagues suffering, and we feel it's our duty, our role as a society, as the Bar Association, to stand with our members, to support them. And we hope that this will be improved and expanded to even include, family members and other people during sickness and other challenges as well. Because at the end of the day, that's the major role, to stand with our members, to be to hold their hand when they are facing challenges. I therefore encourage each of us to take personal responsibility for our lifestyle choices. They will care about our bodies and minds, affects not only our careers, but also our families, relationships, and overall quality of life. When we prioritize sports and general wellness, we become more patient, more focused, more emotionally balanced, and more productive. A healthy lawyer is not only a better advocate, but also a better colleague, parent, spouse, partner, and community member. Equally important is mental well-being. Like I talked about the pressures of practice, unfortunately, because of the nature of our being as lawyers, most of our colleagues die silent. There are very few will actually come out to accept, to come out to speak. You can even listen to this person in your chambers. The person is going through challenges, mental health, and you do not get to know. They will just smile about it, go, and before you know it, his life is crumbling. It's too late. And what shall we, be proud of if we do not support our members in such times of importance? So we believe that seeking therapy or counseling should be seen as a sign of strength and self-awareness, not a weakness. mental resilience is just as critical as legal expertise. And I always tell colleagues that for most lawyers, our capital is actually our brains. Move your head, that is your capital. Because we generally use our heads for everything. The analysis, the presentation, the thinking, and whatever you're doing comes from. So you can imagine if you lack that mental wellness, how that will affect your practice. If you want long, fulfilling and impactful careers, you must intentionally pursue balanced living, making time to move, to rest, to reflect, and to seek support when needed. So colleagues, that is why we felt it's important to switch a bit and focus on the most important aspect of every legal practitioner. And this is wellness. Not just mental wellness, physical wellness as well. Because it's, the strength of every practitioner. It's the backbone of the society. The governing council believes every member needs to take this chance, have an opportunity to be part of this, because it's as important as that. And as I conclude, I'll again emphasize that colleagues, much as we're entering these MOUs, we hear experts speaking about the structure and everything. It's a bigger picture. It's just beyond an individual, but a general well-being of the society. Thank you all for coming once again and for listening to me. And I'm looking forward to an exciting day and exciting activities coming up ahead. Thank you all once again.
I think the thinking deserves.
Can we have some attention, please? For me, this is the crux of today's engagement. It's important that I have the utmost audience. Adam is guiding me that I need to be under the shadow of the R&B radical new vision 2016. Okay, can we? I just need us to focus. We shall take less than 5 minutes, please. Let's focus.
Over there. Yes, on the right. You're on the right.
Can I have all the ears? Thank you for shutting that door, Robert. I won't take long, but I just need us to have most attention. Mostly because this segment bears heavily and deeply on each of us. This segment bears heavily and deeply on each of us. For me, it is the reason why I woke up at 3 a.m. and embarked on a long journey to be here this afternoon. So I don't want to miss any moment of this segment here. Allow me adopt and observe the protocols laid down. I will try to be as informal as can be, just so that I'm able to maintain focus and keep you moved and safe. Now this is the radical new bars stance on the post-election season. We are calling this the 6 critical focus points of 2026. The 6 critical focus points for the year 2026. I'll give you a bit of a background. Uganda's political prisoner crisis. The bar demands the immediate and conditional release of all detainees held for legitimate political expression. Uganda faces a deepening human rights crisis following the recent elections, where His Excellency Yoweri Museveni was declared winner for a seventh term amidst widespread allegations of fraud, repression. Following the allegations of widespread fraud, repression, and mass arbitrary detentions, thousands of Ugandans, supporters, opposition activists, journalists, and everyday citizens remain in prison or exiled on the pretextual charges such as common nuisance, unlawful drilling, unlawful assembly, hate speech, malicious information, or publication of false information, libel, cyber harassment, cyber stalking, computer misuse, data protection and privacy breaches, terrorism, inciting of violence, rash and reckless behavior, and similar offenses. These detentions stem directly from legitimate political actions and participating in campaigns, attending of rallies, expressing dissent online or offline, monitoring polls, or protesting disputed results. That the ruling party and the entrenched allied power class deem unfavorable. The bar, as the foremost guardian of justice and the rule of law, urgently demands the unconditional and immediate release. The bar urgently demands the unconditional and immediate release of all political prisoners or dissidents in exile. The bar demands the hold of this systemic suppression of dissent and the beginning of perpetrators of human rights violations. And this is because the domestic remedies have proven futile because of institutional capture and persistent impunity. Lastly, the bar shall lead a national dialogue on democratic transition. This shall specifically prioritize the constitutional and legal reforms, a radical surgery of the judiciary, the reinstatement of presidential term limits, and the term limits, securing a true electoral commission that is independent and not appointed by the president. We shall bolster safeguards for expression and association of freedoms and depoliticize security forces. Only such changes can break the cycle of the disputed election. My last sentence, then I can end my remarks. This country stands today at a critical juncture. The radical new bar embodying legal integrity shall champion accountability, justice, and democratic renewal, beginning with the unconditional release of all the political prisoners. Failure to act decisively would betray the legal profession's oath and the people's yearning for a just, free, and democratic society. The moment for courageous leadership is now. The moment for courageous leadership is now. The 60 points of focus for the radical new bar. This is going to be our anthem at every event we shall attend. Before any formalities shall happen, we shall repeat these 6 critical critical points of focus. The first point is Justice Biabaka and his commission must resign for failure to deliver a credible election. And a proper inquiry must be instituted into the abuse of funds and public resources through the procurement of the BVVK machines that failed to perform on the day of the election. The second line of our anthem is we demand the unconditional release of all political prisoners and detainees held for legitimate political expression before the month of May 2026. Wherever we shall go, we shall demand the unconditional release before the swearing-in ceremony of the President. All victims of arrest in detention must be released. This is a beginning step in national healing and the recovery of this country here. The third, and also critically important, is the bar shall lead, champion and support action for redress for victims of electoral violence and abuse of human rights. We are at this point in time analyzing data and footage from the election cycle to pinpoint the perpetrators, and we are going to institute legal action against the individuals for abuse of human rights. The fourth of the six is we demand that the suspension of all civil society organizations be lifted immediately. We cannot have civic space and talk about civic rights when the watchdogs of civic rights are under key and lock. The suspension must be lifted immediately, and the bar shall take radical action and radical measures to ensure that this suspension is immediately lifted and operations of the non-government organizations over the arbitrary allegations are lifted immediately. The fifth is we demand for an institution of a commission of inquiry into the billions of shillings lost by Ugandans on account of the arbitrary internet shutdown. Ugandans whose income was lost deserve reparations and compensation. Yes. The last and the sixth is the bar shall spearhead. This is the most important. The bar shall spearhead a national dialogue on democratic transition. This is key for us because the transition has already begun. For members who think that we haven't begun to walk into the transition days, you'll be surprised that we are far past. A number of persons are being installed. You may dismiss the banter between the CDF and the Minister Bariongosi as a joke, but the cabinet is being established in one way or the other, and that banter points to the involvement and the roles being played by key individuals. So the transition is underway, and the bar must lead the way. That is our sixth and final critical point of focus. Now, for the icing of the day. The Radical Member Governing Council is just 1 minute.
Pay for. I can only imagine how much money you have with the information that you are sharing with people. And courtesy of Uganda Law Society, courtesy of our mandate under Section 3, we bring this to you live under the Radical New Bar Innovation every Thursday. So thank you so much, Doctor, for the orientation. Thank you for sharing your good old days as a DHO. And thank you for touching the nerves of men. But you see, men already have social groups. There are men now, already this is my Gango. I don't know his name, but that is how men operate. We don't have time for introductions. As long as you're a man and I meet you, be it on the border, we interact. But now, we are trying to take it to another level. We want to have meaningful interactions. We want to have sessions that are going to benefit a person beyond the individual and also recognize officially. We also thank you for, of course, telling us what we already know, but it's different in practice. A broke man is an angry man. So we need to work on our financial health. You understand? We thank you for breaking this down because we are sometimes victims because we don't know. You see? So when you remind us about being broke and angry, it resonates to some of us, but we want to kick that out. And also, the standing up session, I saw many people standing up. I saw the governor standing up easily, and he can still do it for us. Talk about again, and I was saying, hey, we are good. And this is what we have as the Uganda Law Society, the Radical New Bar. We, of course, take your information in stride, and we are thankful, and we are saying, colleagues, money will come, insurance will come, health cover is going to come. It is one step in the right direction. This is going to happen over time, but we need your support. We need your support, especially in regard to participation. When we call for sessions like these, panel and lawyers league and benevolent fund introduction and discussions, we need to have members consulted and also active. The small wins matter. For us, that is the take home. Very little as it might sound, at least there's something happening. The money that you're paying over for benevolent might just not be, actually not might, it cannot cater to all your health needs, but it is a right step taken. So we are, of course, very much in touch with you. We received the apologies of the doctor. We know, rather, the chairperson, she has always been a friend of ours, and she's very, very welcoming, and we please ask that you carry our regards and to her. Thank you so much for the session, and we want to use that to move into another wellness session. And the questions will come soon after. We have individuals that, of course, are very busy, just like you are, obviously, and we just wanted to intermarry those sessions so that people can get full understanding. But before we do that, we want to recognize the presence of some very important citizens in Uganda, that is in regard to sports. And we are here joined by Coach Nantanda Majuda, who is a former FUFA She Cranes coach. Ladies and gentlemen, may we just give her a round of applause. We are going sports, and sports it is. Your presence here, especially as a lady, is very encouraging to us, because in here we want to respect every category. So thank you so much for making time. We are so honored. We follow you, and the Uganda Cranes and the She Cranes together are making us proud. Thank you for your participation in all the activities. You are an embodiment of what the Uganda Law Society is proud about. We are also joined by Miss Koye Anna, who is a senior referee from FUFA. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Anna Koye, thank you so much for making it. I hope VAR is in this place. Are we together? I hope we don't have to go back to the final of the African Cup. Some things that were not very pleasant, but we are believing that you are the arbiters in sports. You are equally important, and we help the sport to run very easily. We have with us Mr. Savio Kabuko, who is a great player. You can see he has been a beneficiary of the gym, and first stand up for the children. Support your man, okay? Yes, you go. Okay. Come on, a hand up for him. Thank you so much. Savio is also joined by Mr. Yasa Mukerwa, who is also in the building. Very humble. Thank you so much for joining us. And last but not least, we have Diego Hamis Chiza, who is also a great player. Ladies and gentlemen, only this happens at the Ugandan society. What a time to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Your presence here means a lot to us. We're trying to guide the lawyers to show them that it's possible outside the courts of law and can also benefit something from the field, be it sports in regard to football, paddle, or any other sport. So we want to go into another session to do with wellness, and we are going to use the opportunity to listen in another short moment so that we can put those together and, appreciate what we have today. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm wanting to introduce to you an individual who is not very, very new to the field of wellness. He is a clinical psychotherapist. He is a clinical psychotherapist and mental health advocate with extensive experience in trauma-informed care, child and adolescent mental health, and community-based psychosocial support. He is an active member of the team improving the children's accelerated trauma treatment, which is abbreviated as CAT, a program in Uganda, and serves on the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development psychosocial team. He is a fully registered Ugandan Counseling Association member, where he also serves on the trainings committee and is a member of the Clinical Psychologists Association Uganda, which is abbreviated as CPAO. He currently provides clinical services at the Cognitive Behavioral Therapy CBT Center for Jireka Kamuli Road, Kampala International Medical Center, in Kansanga, Drugs Hapana, and Sada Hearts Foundation. Internationally, he collaborates with Mind, Body, and Soul in Liverpool, contributing to mental health initiatives for Black minority communities in the United Kingdom. He serves as the chairperson of the organizing committee for the International East Africa Psychologists Conference, promoting psychological scholarships and professional practice. He is a certified children's accelerated trauma therapy practitioner and trainer, and is trained in eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. He is currently specializing in child and adolescent mental health at Mbarara University of Science and Technology in Mass. Ladies and gentlemen, with that very elaborate introduction, welcome with me, Mr. Paul Waluya.
Waluya Paul, and my title, I'm a clinical psychologist. The medical department, we want to always put the word therapy, so it will be clinical psychotherapist. But that shouldn't bother you. You can use clinical psychology. That is okay. I'm happy to be here. I think on the flyer there was Bridget Asimwe. Now, many of you are wondering what is happening. I will explain that. Bridget Asimwe was supposed to be here, but she got an emergency in the night, health emergency. so she's not able to be here. So I'm here to stand in, and I hope I will do what she was supposed to do, given my background. So I'm going to show today we have a lot of mental health crisis arising, and we all know this. Is it a new thing to us? I want to begin from as far as 2020 to 2021. That's the most common thing that people always remember. When the newspaper was in the morning television, I don't remember, when it said how many Ugandans are struggling with mental health cases. Who remembers? Yes, Doc. Yes, they said 14 million Ugandans. 14 million Ugandans. Do you remember that? Now the question was, among the 14 million Ugandans, where are you? Are you among the 14? Or you are on the other side? You know, that's a big question. But the answer shouldn't bother you. You can be on the both sides. It's no problem. When you're mentally unhealthy, that's not a problem. You just only have to care about yourself. And if you're mentally healthy, then also it's not a problem. You just have to maintain. So I want us to go and understand what exactly mental wellness is. I'm sorry, I'm going to be a little bit fast. I have another presentation in Angongo, actually training for mental health. So they were waiting for me. Dr. said was here very early, and I kept thinking we were going to begin at 10. So at 10 I was here. But unfortunately, since Dr. said lawyers and doctors, we are almost the same. So don't worry, we are together in this cause. So I'm going to begin with understanding what is mental health, mental wellness, we should say. We look at mental wellness as a state in which individuals do these 5 parameters. 1, are able to realize their own potentials. What are your potentials? I want this session to be reflective. Think about yourself. Don't go far away. What's happening with the microphone? Don't go far away. Or the pillar. We shall forgive it and the teacher. So don't go very far away. Let's look at ourselves. Don't think about other people. Think about yourself. When I start by saying the ability to realize your own potentials, what are your potentials? Many times I take it as the God-given endowments. There could be talents, there could be the skills that we have. Today I'm talking to most of us I think are lawyers. As lawyers, what are those potentials? What are those skills that you have that are different from me as a doctor, different from an accountant, different from a plumber? So your own potentials. Whenever we are able to realize our own potentials, we use them. But if you're not able to realize them, then it becomes a problem to us. I've seen some people, I'm not beginning from school, because sometimes I go to school a lot. You see some students, they say, okay, sports people, where are you? Their hands are down. Music, where are you? Their hands are down. Debate, where are you? Their hands are down. Then the question is, where are you for? Academically, their hands are down. So where are we for? What are your potentials? But whenever we don't, that God-given thing is in us. Every one of us has that talent in us. But the problem is we take a chance to discover. So if you don't discover it, it becomes a burden to us. That's why you find that you're becoming, you're not fitting in the community. So you start measuring yourself low. It starts discovering. It starts raising stress in you. What else can I do as Paul? What else can I do? Mental health. We are beginning from the basics. 2, we are able, excuse me, I just want you to continue. Okay. You're able to live, to make effective decisions. Are we understanding? Okay, maybe it's actually. So we're able to make effective decisions. If you realize your potentials, your talents, your skills, your everything, are we in position to make effective decisions in using these potentials? It may not be only using these potentials, but in all things, your lawyers, sometimes you're going to the courts, and the moment you're supposed to make a decision. You're supposed to make a decision. Is it going to be effective? Is it going to bring good fruits, good results? When I'm sometimes working in Costa Rica, and this is where you really see irrational decisions. They bring a patient, they present to a patient, confidentiality observed. I'm not going to mention anyone's name, but I'm just going to give the examples and I want you to understand. The first time, actually I was on my internship. The first case I had, first you're still young, you're still looking at these cases and they're sometimes interesting, you've not gotten a lot of experience. And then the lady, the mother, who I was handling, came and said, Doctor, okay, the son I come to visit her. Doctor, I'm not happy. These family members took my child to school and I wasn't there. So I'm not sure whether this child studied. And what was her decision? She wanted us to go back with the child. And the child repeats studying from B1. She wants to see the child growing and studying. But this child was in fact, and she was going to an institute to work. She was going to do plan B. And that's the decision she had taken for her as the mother. If it were you, would you take it? Would you take it? Effective decisions. That could be at the extreme. We can look at other decisions that are here. Sometimes you find people are taking decisions and you wonder. Someone wants to buy candles and she said, me, I only use which mall? Which mall could be far from here? Mall is on the internet, so I use Voice Mall. But some people would ask, me, I use Voice Mall on Entebbe Road and is going to buy candles. You get it? Those decisions are there. It may not align with what would be irrational to you, but some of those things are there. You find someone is taking up a decision. Somebody has angered me. The decision I have is to, let's see, is that the best way I'm going to resolve the things? I'm going to fold my sleeves and reflect what is going to come after that. So effective decisions. Doc was talking about exercise and he talked about depression, anxiety, stress. I'm not going to repeat that, each time factor. But some of the signs that can show you that you're either depressed, you're stressed, let's begin with those two, is high level of irritability. Something small sparks you off. No? Just crossing in front of me can make me, why did he decide to pass in front of me? Does it have any other places that you could use? You get it? So, irritability, Dr. talked about it. So, a big ability to make effective decisions. Now, you as you, when you look at the decisions you're making in relation to the environment in which you are, in relation to the skills that you have, potentials you have, does it carry value? Is it effective? When people say, yes, that is our man. No? 3. Ability to make meaningful relationships. Here we come. Men, I'm also coming. Don't worry. Our relationships many times are a little bit on top. They are more cognitive. Hi buddy, how are you? What's up? We go deeper to have someone that we can pour out our emotional pains. Yes. One of them is I'm saying. Yeah. Do we have those people? We may have our cliques, but when we are there, what are we doing? No? No wonder society rates of are high. Society rates of men are high. Okay, for the ladies, the attempts are very high, but successes are low. For the men, attempts are low, but successes are high. Why? Because we go to a lot. We put in a lot. I just want to use this example. I want to borrow your imagination. You know balloons? Go on to use on birthdays and the ones you're going to give out on Valentine. Coming soon. The red ones. You see those balloons? When you start pumping pressure into them, what happens? What happens? They expand, no? They keep growing bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Now, When they reach the lasting point, what happens? Hassan said, it means busting. They pop, not. Yes, they pop. Why are they popping? There's a lot of pressure being contained there and it's not being released at any point. Are you together? Now, human beings are also the same way. We pop, we burst. The only difference is that we don't burst like the balloon.
Practice. It is about mental and physical wellness, and that is going to bring us closer to the people that we are also trying to reach out to. And of course, commiserations to the bereaved family of Council who passed away, and the council was in the village over there, putting him to rest. We also do this, of course, in respect of those that passed away, but we are trying as much as possible to bridge that gap. Can we mix it up? The Lawyers League is here. We're going to receive much more information in one of the sessions coming up. We're going to take it to the regional level, and those that are far away in the northern region, central region, across, and the western region and eastern region, we are going to reach out to you. I remember some time when the council members were in the eastern region, when they were hosted by Honorable Eddie Nambulu. I saw the treasurer, the governor. You know, we all look at him as thinking that it's only soups and money. No. He scored a goal, was it? Was it he was scored? Yeah, he scored a goal. You can imagine at the striking level. And Eddie was not happy. Eddie revealed and scored another goal. We're thinking, can we have fun beyond the courtrooms? Alright? And that doesn't mean paddle is not something to take in stride. Paddle is another thing that is another sport that brings you closer to your wellness. And before we go any further, we want to speak about wellness, and wellness to the extent that we show our love and care for members who are having challenges with their health. And that brings us straight into our next session, in which we want to hear about the benevolent fund. This, I don't have to say so much. We have a lot of information coming from the Benevolent Fund representation that is in the building, and we are all aware that it is here because we, subscribe to it. We don't want to isolate you from information that you're always paying for. And there's so many questions. It's not something that can be understood within one session. That is why we continually engage with the Benevolent Fund. Recently there was an AGM that they hosted. Information was shared. But this being weekly, this being the radical member that takes information down to the street, we thought it's important for them to keep coming here to tell us about the innovations and the different things that they want to bring forth to us. And the person going to speak to us today is a whole medical doctor with a public health, is a specialist in more than 35 years experience in strengthening health systems at national, sub-national, and facility level. Earlier on in her career, she worked with Kampala City Council as head of health services in 2 divisions, and for 15 years she provided leadership and technical support to USAID-funded projects. Since 2016, she has been providing public health consultancy services with a focus on health systems, strengthening. Most recent assignments include consultancy support to the health, nutrition and population team at the World Bank, Kampala, Uganda office, and UNAIDS, Uganda office. She's also a health and well-being enthusiast, a member of the executive team of Today and Beyond, a private company that empowers all the women to live active and fulfilling lives through holistic well-being programs. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me, Dr. Elizabeth Ekochi.
Thank you so much for that introduction. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I don't like this cause, but there's nothing I can do about it, isn't it? I feel like I should stand there, but I guess even this people will miss out on me. I'll start on the protocol already established, and thank you all so much for giving us this opportunity to be here with you. I like the faces. I came early, by the way. I want to comment. I actually thought lawyers are better than doctors at times. But you're about the same. found a full-blown exercise session here. I was really enthusiastic about it. I was very pleased. I said this is a good way. We are heading in the right direction. If it starts with the office, the UNS office, it will spread to everywhere. And I want to appreciate you for starting that. So I have a presentation. Can it go up, please? Where the presentation is already up. Okay. So you asked me to talk about sports and wellness. And in the introduction that was given about me, one of the things that was said at the end is that I belong to an organization called Today and Beyond. Today and Beyond actually looks at all the ladies, trying to make sure that they stay fit. But to tell you the truth, staying fit starts from when you're very young. I'll tell you an interesting story. In my career, when I just started my master's, I was posted to Hoima district as an apprentice, who are being trained to be DHOs, district health officers. I arrived there at around 2:30, went to the DHO's office, and he said, "Oh, welcome. Tomorrow we are going for supervision visit down to Chibiro." Now, I didn't know Hoima. I didn't know the escarpment. I didn't know much about, the terrain there. So I went with the district health educator the next day. I saw he was holding a stick. I said, he's called Tom. He actually became an MP at some point. I said, "Tom, what is that for?" He said, "We shall find out. We shall need it." So we went. We went down the escarpment, not as you see it today. There is a beautiful road going down there. It was going down, and in some places you had to sit down and then put your feet down first and walk all the way down. I don't know how many kilometers it was, but coming back, we just kept on walking. And the good thing is I was wearing a flat pair of sandals. I reached my room and fell asleep. It rained, the windows were open, and the rain entered the room. Now the next day I appeared in the office and they were shocked. They said, usually we don't expect people to come back for 1 week. Because that was a very tough terrain. And the only reason I feel that I managed to do that is because at school, secondary school and high school, I was very sporty. I was very sporty, and I continued, not as, with as much aggression, but I continued throughout. I was able to walk down that terrain, come back up, and report for work the next day. So, all of you who are still young, keep it up. Start small, but grow it and make sure it's sustained so that you can remain fit. If I ask some of you how old I am, you probably guess from my career, but many people do not actually guess it right. Partly because of the fitness that you have to inculcate in your own lifestyle. So my outline quickly is to remind you all of who we are as the Health and Benevolent Fund. And then I'll take you to the Wellness Wheel, which is ancient now. And then our current HBF initiatives, feedback we've received so far. And then I'll go a little bit, delve into the real matter, the relationship between sports and wellness, and what you should aim for. And then I'll go to the basic one, which is walking. What are the benefits of walking? And then I'll end with our future outlook as the HBF. Next. So as the Vice President already said, we were established in 2024. UNS thought it fit that you should have an HBF, a Health and Benevolent Fund, to cater for your needs. And so we are here to nurture you as the legal community. community and fraternity in Uganda to make sure that you have physical, mental, and social wellness. There's something wrong with this. I don't know if I'm standing in the wrong place. Let me try it. It's okay. And our mission is to deliver compassionate and holistic support. We're trying to look at what can we do physically, what can we do mentally, and we look at the wellness wheel and see how we can go about that. And so that's who we are, just as a quick reminder. Now let's go to the health and wellness wheel. Next please, who's helping me with the... As I mentioned already, this is an ancient philosophy. The Chinese believe in, and the Orient believe in yin and yang. There's a balance in life. It's not just about physical. Okay? Even the native Indians in the Americas believe the same, that it has to be a balance. So over the years, people have seen the reality of what this means and developed different components or elements which they feel are really important for us to say we are well, or we have wellness, health and wellness. Remember, WHO also, after looking at all aspects of what health really is, established this statement that it's a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being.
Pay for. I can only imagine how much money you have with the information that you are sharing with people. And courtesy of Uganda Law Society, courtesy of our mandate under Section 3, we bring this to you live under the Radical New Bar Innovation every Thursday. So thank you so much, Doctor, for the orientation. Thank you for sharing your good old days as a DHO. And thank you for touching the nerves of men. But you see, men already have social groups. There are men now, already this is my Gambo. I don't know his name, but that is how men operate. We don't have time for introductions. As long as you're a man and I meet you, be it on the border, we interact. But now, we are trying to take it to another level. We want to have meaningful interactions. We want to have sessions that are going to benefit a person beyond the individual and also recognize officially. We also thank you for, of course, telling us what we already know, but it's different in practice. A broke man is an angry man. So we need to work on our financial health. You understand? We thank you for breaking this down, because we are sometimes victims because we don't know. You see? So when you remind us about being broke and angry, it resonates to some of us, but we want to kick that out. And also the standing up session. I saw many people standing. I saw the governor standing up easily, and he can still do it for us. So again, you can also say, hey, we are good. And this is what we have as the Uganda Law Society, the Radical New Bar. We, of course, take your information in stride, and we are thankful, and we are saying, colleagues, money will come, insurance will come, health cover is going to come. It is one step in the right direction. This is going to happen over time, but we need your support. We need your support, especially in regard to participation. When we call for sessions like this, panel and lawyers league and benevolent fund introduction and discussions, we need to have members consulted and also active. The small wins matter. For us, that is the take home. Very little as it might sound, at least there's something happening. The money that you're paying over for benevolent might just not be, actually not might, it cannot cater to all your health needs, but it is a right step taken. So we are, of course, very much in touch with you. We receive the apologies of the doctor. We know rather the chairperson. She has always been a friend of ours and she's very, very welcoming. And we please ask that you carry our regards and to her. Thank you so much for the session, and we want to use that to move into another wellness session. And the questions will come soon after. We have individuals that of course are very busy, just like you are obviously, and we just wanted to intermarry those sessions so that people can get full understanding. But before we do that, we want to recognize the presence of some very important citizens in Uganda, that is in regard to sports. And we are here joined by Coach Nantanda Majida, who is a former FUFA She Cranes coach. Ladies and gentlemen, may we just give her a round of applause. We are going sports, and sports it is. Your presence here, especially as a lady, is very encouraging to us, because in here we want to respect every category. So thank you so much for making time. We are so honored. We follow you, and the Uganda Cranes and the She Cranes together are making us proud. Thank you for your participation in all the activities. You are an embodiment of what the Uganda Society is proud about. We are also joined by Miss Koye Anna, who is a senior referee from FUFA. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Anna Koye, thank you so much for making it. I hope VAR is in this place. Are we together? I hope we don't have to go back to the final of the African Cup. Some things that were not very pleasant, but we are believing that you are the arbiters in sports. You're equally important, and you help the sport to run very easily. We have with us Mr. Savio Kabuko, who is a Cranes player. You can see he has been a beneficiary of the gym, and first stand up for the children. Support your man, okay? Yes, you go. Okay? Come on, a hand for him. Thank you so much. Savio is also joined by Mr. Yasa Mukerwa, who is also in the building. Very humble. Thank you so much for joining us. And last but not least, we have Diego Hamis Chiza, who is also a great player. Ladies and gentlemen, only this happens at the Ugandan Society. What a time to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. A very, very interesting session that has been in stock, and we're going to have an entrepreneur, a business development specialist, a co-founder of Harman Panda Center, who is the Danish entrepreneur and business development specialist with a strong background in technology and innovation. From 2007 to 2020, he led the Surfex apps, developing advanced inspection and maintenance software for the offshore oil and gas industry, serving some of the biggest companies in the world. And between 2020 and 2025, he founded a consultant company that worked for several European tech companies, including Space Innovator, Satellite Company, and Aguario, green water technology, focusing on business strategy, implementations, and operational growth. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me, Mr. Henry Anderson.
Thank you very much. Today is a very, very happy day. We started some time ago talks with the ULS, with the Vice President, about how can we activate the members of the Uganda Law Society. And today we are signing that agreement, and we are starting something that will change the Uganda Law Society. And I'll tell you why in a little bit. But first of all, I'd like to show a short video, if our video guy is awake, about what paddle actually is. Here you can see up here.
The paddle is very similar to tennis. All courts are standardized, roughly 33 by 66 feet, so about a third the size of a tennis court. And it's the same scoring as tennis, but I would say 99% of the play is double play. You start with another hand serve. After you serve, the ball has to bounce onto the turf, and you can play off the walls and play off the side. If tennis is checker, padel is chess. It's really a thinking person's sport, but the great thing about padel, it is easy to learn and hard to master. That means that people from various levels can go out and play and have fun right away, but it's hard to master. Padel is played in 78 different countries around the world, 30,000 books around the world, 35 different international federations.
Get Padel certified today. Learn more at USPTA.com.
Is your teaching pro USPTA certified?
Easy to learn, hard to master. That's the key word. If two persons want to play tennis and they never played tennis before, and their goal is to hit back and forth to each other 10 times, that'll take about 6 months to learn. In paddle, it'll take 1 to 2 hours. After 1 to 2 hours, you can play games as a beginner with other beginners. So 1 to 2 hours is all it takes before you can start playing paddle and have fun. Alright. Now I'd like to go back to a little bit of the knowledge we learned today. Because I was thinking about something when they talked about exercise is good for you. You should do more, park your car further down in the parking lot and walk in the sun all the way into the court. And with all due respect, these guys are some of you get as bright as brains. I think they might know it. So my question was, why don't they do it? They know walking is good for you. They also know that going out partying is not good for you. But yet they sometimes choose to go out party and do exercise. Why is that? I think it's because going out partying is fun. Walking in the sun, baking sun to the courtroom is not. Paddle is the fastest growing sport in the world. In Denmark, we had 100 courts in 2019. In 2023, we had 1,500 courts, 1,500. We had tennis for 100 years, 80,000 people played. In those 4 years we talked about, we had 350,000 people playing paddle. Because it's fun. You exercise, you socialize, and you're having fun. What we are offering to ULS today is a partnership where the members get 20% discount on all games. They get the very first game 20 minutes for free. They get to try the sport for free. The first 20 minutes are free. We have a coach ready when they come. They can get introduced to the sport for free. Afterwards, they get 20% discount. We'll establish what we call Lawyers Lounge. Every Friday, the lawyers have a social event where they can come, the lawyers who want to come and socialize, play some paddle, have some fun, eat some food, maybe have a drink. We're going to do that as a Lawyers Lounge. Later on, we'll create a league. But we want people to start playing the game first, and then when we see that they are comfortable with the game, we will create the Lawyers League. But there is a warning. Paddle is very addictive. Most of our players play 2 to 3 times a week. And going back to the doctor, that's exactly what's recommended. 2 times paddle in 1 week. And I dare you, dear lawyers, if you come and play 3 times, only 3 times, then I have solved your problem about getting exercise, I guarantee you. So I welcome everybody, all lawyers, to come and play and try. And we even have a provision where you can bring a friend to come and play on the same terms that you have during the day. So I'm very, very happy that we are signing this MOU. And I welcome all the lawyers to have fun, socialize, and exercise at Herman Paddle.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Henry. We are very grateful. We are going to organize and just set up at the front where you are. Just take a seat. The microphone is going to be carried with you. Then the MOU is on the desk. We are going to enter this engagement in the presence of the members. Thank you so much. That's the Vice President. It's going to be a special session. And in the presence of the members, this is an engagement that we want to take to another level. The visitations were done last year. Today we are signing and getting into an organized structural relationship with the paddle sport. And it's a clarion call for us to engage. Let's kindly feel free. We shall be sharing the details of the MOU as has always been done on our socials. Kindly feel free to engage and also, of course, visit the different spots where the sport is played. We have already shown and shown you how it's done, how engaging it is, how very physical it can get, but as well there are very many other social services over there, and it's important for you to at least pay a visit, and make sure that you can get a feel. Thank you. Alright, here we go, paddle through as we're going, and this is exactly what the Uganda Society does. Alright, the Vice President in representation of the Uganda Society is taking it down to another level. We are here to bring the sport closer to you, and just if you don't know, your child will also start by taking on this sport, and there's very many international opportunities for children, of course with adults, but it's easier training for a child who is very young and can develop, and we're going to get offers. There's going to be a package that is going to be explained, and you can see how to benefit from entertaining yourself as you associate with the paddle sport. A message coming from the Vice President or Mr. Henry. So kindly members, do not hesitate. Take a decision as we have been trained. We have been trained to make decisions, timely decisions. Take a decision, visit the paddle sport and see what will be unveiled. Mr. Henry has a message for us. There you go.
Alright, as I mentioned, these talks started a while back, and now we're finalizing and seeing the results. A big part of that is because the CEO and the President and a lot of other members from ULS. So we have something at Herman called brand ambassadors. And the brand ambassadors get free paddle. That means they come, they show their little cards, and then they get to play for free. And it's my great pleasure to offer to the ULS 4 of these brand ambassadors. To the Vice President, the President, the CEO, and then from the Vice President to choose who has benefited the most in this and should have
the moderator. We shouldn't go for the moderator is number 4. Continue, please. Alright, thank you so much. The packages are coming thick and fast. Let us not hesitate. This does not mean that you will not get us at least a subsidy. Because when you come on the basis of the Uganda Society, there is a relationship that we have created in this MOU to show that there is a relationship.
Forgive me, Mr. We have been eagerly waiting your arrival. We are soldiers as well, demanding the radical surgery of the judiciary. We have so much data that we shall be happily champion. Allow me to invite our distinguished Secretary General, Mr. Babusari. So Babusari is going to present the Radical Wilbur Governing Council's Executive Order number 7 of 2026. Mr. Babu, you are most welcome. Everybody is eager to hear from you. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon. In the interest of time, I wish to call upon my fellow council members as I present the Executive Order R&B number 7 of 2026. I am Sani Babu, Acting General Secretary of the Uganda Society, and in the interest of time, I wish to observe all protocol and go straight to presenting Executive Order number 7 of 2026, which is titled Chief Justice Dr. Simon Zeija, designated as a global judicial pariah and a threat to the rule of law in Uganda. Recalling that the Uganda Law Society has consistently defended and promoted the founding principles of constitutionalism, judicial independence, and the rule of law as essential pillars of a just, free, and democratic society. Recalling further, in line with the Executive Order R&B 2 of 2024 and Executive Order R&B 5 of 2025, the Radical Member has pledged to pursue progressive reforms within the legal profession to establish robust judicial accountability mechanisms and to disengage from any processes that compromise or undermine judicial integrity. Aware that the Uganda Law Society, in its public statement issued on the 23rd January 2026 and entitled Flavian Zeija's Chief Justice Appointment, a Recipe for Disaster, expressed the caution that the accelerated and irregular elevation of Dr. Zeija to the position of Chief Justice heightens risk of political interference in the judiciary, increases vulnerability to corruption, and hastens the overall decline of judicial independence. Cognizant that Chief Justice Zeija's initial actions upon assuming leadership of the judiciary included the deliberate exclusion of the Uganda Law Society leadership from the ceremonial opening of the new lawyer, which was held on 5th February 2026, thereby perpetuating a pattern of hostility towards the autonomous bar, and this echoes his earlier call while serving as a Deputy Chief Justice, as evidenced by his letter dated 7th July 2025, in which he acknowledged directly the removal of 4 significant ULS appeals from the Court of Appeal, causes and imposing an administrative prohibition on scheduling of ULS-related matters, as long as I still have the right to head the Court of Appeal, thereby obstructing the adjudication of Constitutional Petition number 12 of 2026 and related applications challenging the aspects of the judicial appointment process from which he personally derived direct benefit as Chief Justice. Mindful that during his address at the judicial ceremony opening of the new lawyer 2026, Chief Justice Zeija issued threats of ruthless measures against individuals expressing criticism online, thereby revealing an unwillingness to accept legitimate public oversight and suggesting a preference for alignment with the executive authority rather than impartial administration of justice for which he should stand for as a Chief Justice. Concern that such conduct collectively reflects an unacceptable facilitation of executive and legislative overreach, a persistent silence in the face of documented human rights violation, and a refusal to acknowledge or denounce the extent to which Uganda's judiciary has become subject to external capture and influence, recognizing the grossly illegitimate and non-transparent nature of appointment process itself, which proceeded in a shadow way, and having fashioned with non-disclosure of applicants, the shortlisting criteria, recommendations of the Judicial Service Commission, or opportunities for public participation, noting further that the Judicial Service Commission was irregularly constituted due to the absence of ULS representatives to date, rendering the entire process profoundly defective, discrediting the judiciary as an institution, and severely eroding public trust and confidence in dispensation to the effective delivery of justice. Being convinced that this flawed process has irreparably compromised judicial independence and the doctrine of separation of powers, effectively transforming the judiciary into an appendage tainted by illegitimacy, afflicting the executive and legislative branches, thereby disabling it from serving as an effective counterbalance to abuses of power, and instead enabling the consolidation of executive dominance and the spectre of military rule in Uganda. Noting with grave concern, as highlighted in part by Dr. Musike Kabumba in his valedictory contribution as a columnist of The Observer on 12 February 2006, the symbolic and substantive dimensions of alignment with illegitimate authority exemplified by the swearing-in ceremony conducted at the President's private farm in Chisozi, rather than at the official venue, such as State House. The President's hailing of the appointment unmistakably as judicial convergence, meaning executive aligned stability, as well as the timing of the appointment amid a deeply flawed 2026 electoral cycle marked by violence, impunity, arbitrary arrests, and military involvement. Parallels that recall historically discredited judicial appointments and signal complicity in sustaining an illegitimate regime, contrary to the ethical obligations incumbent upon jurists. Further aware that the early decisions under Chief Justice Zega's leadership, including the rapid constitution of the Supreme Court panel to handle a nominal presidential election petition, subsequently withdrawn thereby, facilitating the president's swearing-in, and the pursuit of criminal prosecutions against critics such as Malema Milizi on charges of disseminating malicious information and hate speech directed at Zega himself, combined with the ongoing exclusion of the Ugandan society from key judicial events, collectively indicate a judiciary disoriented towards suppressing dissent, imposing pre-trial hardships, perpetuating impunity, and advancing executive objectives rather than safeguarding the constitutional rights and preserving institutional integrity of the judiciary. Emphasizing that numerous legitimate grievances from members of the bench, the bar, and the wider public, grievances that genuinely transparent appointment process with meaningful public participation could have surfaced and addressed, remain unverified due to the absence of accountable government institutions of providing effective remedies. Convinced, therefore, that in the current absence of transparent and accountability-driven state institutions, where such persons can be meaningfully adjudicated with real consequences, the imposition of high-impact, target-barred sanctions represents a necessary and proportionate measure to make complicity in the erosion of rule of law unsustainable. Now, therefore, by the authority vested in the Uganda Law Society Governing Council, by Articles 3, 29, 38, and 126 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, and Sections 3 and 10 of the Uganda Law Society Act, we declare as follows. Article 1, Judicial Pariah Designation. Effective immediately, Dr. Flavian Zaiga, the Chief Justice of the Republic of Uganda, is hereby declared a global judicial pariah and an active threat to the rule of law. This designation shall remain in force until there is clear, verifiable, and independent restoration of judicial autonomy and impartiality in the judiciary of Uganda. Article 2, Comprehensive Sanctions and Responsive Framework. Members and allies of the Uganda Law Society shall adopt and maintain the following measures indefinitely. A. Institute a policy of perpetual zero engagement or boycotting of all non-compulsory ceremonial, consultative or collaborative engagements with Chief Justice Flavian Zaiga or his direct office. No appearances before him in non-mandatory matters. Secondly, publicly characterize any interaction with Chief Justice Zaiga as conferring legitimacy on judicial capture in all local and international forums. Thirdly, file parallel affidavits or formal notices in relevant proceedings highlighting documented conflicts of interest and impartiality concerns regarding Chief Justice Flavian Zaiga. And lastly, contribute to and support the production of the Uganda Law Society Rule of Law reports and annual shadow set of judiciary reports, which shall systematically contrast with those of the Chief Justice's tenure and judicial conduct against constitutional standards and benchmarks. These reports shall be disseminated nationally and internationally. Secondly is international advocacy and diplomatic isolation. Uganda Law Society members and allies shall immediately and persistently petition the following bodies for urgent scrutiny of Chief Justice Flavian Zaiga and further threats to judicial independence in Uganda. The UN Special Rapporteur on Independence of Judges and Lawyers, African Commission on Human and People's Rights, International Bar Association, East African Law Society, and the relevant bar associations. Secondly, request for more notation of Chief Justice Zaiga's record and reputation by Commonwealth Magistrates and Judges Association, East African Magistrates and Judges Association, International Commission of Jurists, African Judges and Jurists Forum, International Mediation and Arbitration Bodies. Thirdly, advocate for the inclusion of Chief Justice Zaiga on international judicial integrity watch lists and for the imposition of visa restrictions and travel bans in jurisdictions that prioritize judicial independence. Fourth is to lodge complaints, amicus curiae interventions or supporting submissions before the International Criminal Court, African Court on Human and People's Rights, East African Court of Justice, other competent regional and international tribunals, highlighting systematic complicity, risks within Uganda judicial system under which are under Chief Justice Zaiga's leadership. Thirdly is the digital accountability campaign. Chief Justice Zaiga's accountability dossier, the Uganda Law Society under this shall establish and maintain a publicly accessible evidence-based Zaiga accountability dossier posted on the ULS website and mirrored on online platforms. The document shall permanently archive statements, silences, decisions, and credible criticisms concerning Chief Justice Zaiga for global reference. Social and public accountability measures. Uganda Law Society members and allies shall participate in coordinated evidence-driven social media and public awareness campaigns, targeting diplomatic missions, international legal organizations, and global rule of law bodies to emphasize that no credible rule of law exists under Chief Justice Zaiga's leadership, and to highlight the attendant complicity risks. Secondly is to promote ethical suspicion and rigorous public scrutiny of every judicial ruling, appointment, administrative decision, or inaction issued or taken under Chief Justice Zaiga's superintendence. Article 3, Whistleblower Protection and Reward Protocol. The UNS Council and its allies shall implement and maintain a secure, anonymous, encrypted reporting channel. For example, the Uganda Law Society Whistleblower Portal for submission of evidence of impeachable conduct by Chief Justice Zaiga, including but not limited to bias, corruption, facilitation of human rights violation, or executive interference on his part. Secondly, financial rewards and legal aid stipends for submission that are independently verified and lead to formal complaints, petitions, or escalations to the Judicial Service Commission, Parliament, and international oversight bodies. Thirdly, comprehensive whistleblower protection, which may include pro bono legal representation, referrals for international asylum where credible threats exist, public solidarity campaigns, procurement of non-retaliation assurances. Fourth is to clear guidance and processing protocols. All submissions received through Uganda Law Society channels shall benefit from a good faith presumption, followed by thorough internal investigation and independent corroboration. Credible claims shall be escalated to the public, Parliament, Judicial Service Commission, and relevant global watchdogs. The whistleblower program shall undergo an annual independent audit to assess impact, effectiveness, and risk mitigation. Article 4, Eternal Vigilance Campaign. All stakeholders, including lawyers, civil society organizations, media practitioners, and citizens, are called upon to maintain permanent evidence-based scrutiny and suspicion towards Chief Justice Zaiga, the Ugandan judiciary, and other state-captured institutions. The Uganda Law Society shall regularly conduct public and professional education programs to equip both legal professionals and ordinary citizens with the knowledge and tools to identify and document signs of judicial capture in rulings, statements, appointments, and institutional inaction. Fifth is implementation. This executive order takes immediately. All Uganda Law Society members and allies, in consultation with the Uganda Law Society Secretary, shall take necessary steps to implement and strengthen its provisions. The order shall automatically renew each year unless judicial independence is demonstrated and verifiably restored through transparent, non-partisan, and irreversible reforms. Implementation shall be carried out in a manner consistent with applicable law and subject to availability of resources. Lastly is publication. This executive order shall be publicized forthwith on Uganda Law Society website and disseminated via the official emails, social media platforms, and other communication channels to all Uganda Law Society members, stakeholders, and allies. In witness thereof, we have hereby to set our hands at the Uganda Law Society House, Gololo, and cause the seal of the Uganda Law Society to be fixed on this document on the 13th February 2026, and the same executive order RMB number 7/2026 has been signed by all the council members. Thank you all, and that is all with the presentation and the reading of the executive order RMB number 7 of 2026. I also have with me my brother here, Godwin Toko from Agora, and before I close this session for today, it would be a great injustice not to give a man of his stature the opportunity to present a word or two in regard to human rights violation, non-constitutionalism, corruption and degradation of justice, and the lack of judicial accountability that we are currently facing in Uganda. I take this opportunity therefore to welcome and hand over the mic so that he can proceed with his submission. Thank you.
Thank you very much, RMB and the council members and the management of RMB. It's a pleasure to be here. There is a saying that Chiwacheri wrote in his book, Man of the People. He said, it takes a lion to tame a leopard. I am so happy with RMB and the Law Society that when Uganda seems to be going south, when the rule of law seems to be a thing that is taught in schools and not practiced by the judiciary, at least they are standing up. It will take a lion like them to stand up and push back. Organizations like Agora can only do so much. But I'm also speaking by giving you some breaking news. I don't know if you know, but Agora was lost. So I was introduced as someone who came here to speak on behalf of Agora. But Agora was one of the organizations that were close. You probably heard of ACME, you probably heard of CCG and others. Agora was one of those organizations. In total, they are 10. So the violations are coming from all sides. The violations are targeting everyone. I know you've had your running battles here. We've also had them. Yesterday I was at Muzira to visit Brother Malema because you said to regards. He's in strong speed. But we know that Malema is in jail not because he's tall. Malema is in jail not because he raped, not because he murdered, but because he stood up and said the truth. A truth that many of us share, but don't have the courage to say. That's all he is in jail for. So I came very late. I was going to speak a bit longer, but now I can't. I see the time. But I will just say that from us at Agora, we are running this campaign called the Uganda Judicial Exhibition Campaign. We've run other campaigns. We've run one about portals. We ran one about the Parliament of Uganda and others. We've got a mixed bag. Sometimes the success is there. Sometimes the success is not there. But when the success is not there, always remember the words of Li Enlai, the famous Prime Minister of China, who was asked in must have been 1963. What the effects of the French Revolution were. At that time, it was about 200 years since the French Revolution happened, and he said, it's too early to tell. So sometimes, these things are too early to tell. When we keep running campaigns like the Judicial Exhibition, and we get partnership like getting ULS to push a hand, give us a hand in pushing back on the violations, maybe 200 years from now, we will benefit. Thank you very much.